Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm just coming up to about 6 months since we got married, so I thought it would be a good time to do a bit of a wedding recap video. So today I wanted to talk about some of the things that worked well, what didn't work well, things maybe I'd do differently. Like overall, I'm so happy with how the wedding went, and I just wanted to share some things that I think made the day really amazing, or the weekend really amazing in fact. So we got married in September 2024. I did do a previous video talking through some of the plans that we had and some things that I'd already bought for it. I wanted to show you exactly how the wedding went, show you some pictures from it, share some knowledge from a past bride in case anyone's currently planning their wedding and want to know some advice about what they should do, because I watched a lot of videos when I was planning and to see what people recommend and what was a waste of money and what they do differently. So yeah, I wanted to do my own version of that. So firstly, when talking about my wedding, it's probably important to mention that it was quite a micro wedding. We did have some more people to our reception, but for the main part of the wedding there was just 18 of us, which I know it doesn't work for everybody, but for us that was perfect. Because we both knew that we'd find it quite intimidating being the centre of attention, but having a smaller group for the main part of the wedding made us both a lot more relaxed. We also had quite a low-key wedding from the point of view that we had the ceremony in the registry office, which I think in America you would call that, what would you call that? So I think in America it's called a civil marriage ceremony. That doesn't ring a bell, so I don't know if that's the phrasing that I was after. I would personally definitely recommend a registry office wedding because we had a really good experience. The women that did ours were so nice and just so like relaxed. I feel like they just made it seem very chill. So yeah, that's what we did for our ceremony. I'm gonna insert some pictures of the ceremony because you can see it's kind of just a normal looking room. It almost gives sort of like school vibes with the like decor and stuff. So it's not the most like aesthetic room, but again, that was fine for us, and there were more parts of the wedding that were in more like aesthetic locations that we didn't actually have to pay very much for, so yeah, we were very happy. And yeah, we got some beautiful shots of the bridesmaids walking down the aisle and, you know, my dad giving me away and getting confused about what he was supposed to be doing, and then, you know, our first kiss, and then also like the signing the books, which was funny because I thought you still had to like actually sign something, but I think it's all done online now, so they were just like, here's the book and here's like a pen and just like pretend to write something for your pictures. But the women working there were like super helpful, and just they knew what pictures our photographer would be after, and they just like helped facilitate that, and yeah, they were so nice. So yeah, and then they allow you to like throw confetti on the steps outside of the registry office, so we got some really nice pictures doing the whole like walk through, everyone with the confetti going everywhere, so that was really nice. So yeah, that brings me on to talking about photographers. So we weren't sure initially if we would even have a professional photographer, but because we haven't, at other weddings that we've been to, I've kind of not been that impressed. Like, I think I've witnessed some photographers not really being very engaged or like creating a very good atmosphere, and a lot of weddings I've been to, like, we never receive the pictures from them, so I just think it's a bit like, I guess if it's good for the couple, then, you know, that's good, but basically so my sister is friends with a photographer that she knew from when she was younger, and she recommended her. So we were looking through, and her portfolio was like amazing, and she called herself like Queen of the Candid Shot, which like definitely spoke to us because we didn't want all these really like awkward looking like staged pictures. That was like I just don't know what I'd do with those. Like I just feel like they just look silly to me. So yeah, we were all into like having some nice like candid pictures of people. Just, we wanted someone there to like capture the day, not to like necessarily like orchestrate the day. We got given the contact of my sister's friend Nisha, who I will insert a link to her photography website. I think she only works sort of in a radius around where we live. So yeah, if you're in England and you're sort of in the southwest area, she might be in your area. So but yeah, she was amazing, so nice. That was like another big thing to me. Like I just wanted someone who was just a nice addition to the day, friendly, and just would feel like another guest. Because I think it would be difficult to get like nice relaxed pictures of people if they didn't feel relaxed with the photographer. So yeah, I knew that she was like a really nice person already, so that was like a big green flag to me. So yeah, we were looking through her packages, and they were, I mean, generally like wedding photography is like so expensive, so her like prices were like normal, but you know, as someone, we weren't trying to spend like too much, but we saw that she did a micro wedding, and I think that was actually up to 18 people, which was like exactly how many people we wanted. And I think she also did, so it was like a 3.5 hours micro wedding, was, I want to say about £900, something like that, which for wedding photography is pretty good. And that included like all of the pictures, you like had the rights to the pictures, like she could do something with them too, but you didn't have to like buy them off her. And yeah, she gave us like hundreds of these pictures, and they were amazing, so it was so worth the money. But yeah, I would like definitely suggest just having a photographer for like a few hours, because it actually does get quite tiring and a lot of effort like having pictures taken constantly, which is what the photographer is there to do, and that's exactly what you want them to be doing. But I just think for like the happiness and enjoyment of your guests and yourselves, I would suggest quality over quantity, and just having a few hours, and you'll save a lot of money as well. And just, yeah, using those few hours to get some amazing shots, and then the rest of the day you can just like relax. So yeah, the way that our photographer did it is she broke the day into 3 separate sections. So we had like a getting ready section, a ceremony section, and I think the third one was like called the cathedral, because we went to a cathedral for the third section. So yeah, it was nice having those 3 different sections. I don't know what to talk about next, because everything like interlinks into everything. I just want to say about the cathedral, and also the Airbnb, because that kind of plays into this. So let's start from the beginning. I'm getting out of breath already because there's so much to talk about. I like knew I needed to make this video, because as soon as I started thinking about it, I was like, I need to talk about this, I need to talk about this. Okay, breathe. Okay, so I might come back to photography, but before I go any further with that, I want to talk about the Airbnb that we stayed at, because we decided to sort of bring the wedding out a bit further, and also to have somewhere for our guests to stay, because some of them were coming from far away. Yeah, Ivan's sister and her partner came from America. We knew that we wanted to have somewhere to put people up. We didn't want people to like pay for accommodation. So we were thinking we'd probably do an Airbnb, and most of them, they require like you to stay 3 nights. But we actually thought that would be perfect, because then it's like a whole weekend thing. And everyone always says when you're planning a wedding, like it goes so quickly. So we were thinking if we had the whole weekend, we'd have a little bit more time, and it would also be a little bit more relaxed. So we found this really beautiful Airbnb in Gloucester, which was where we were getting married as well. And it was these 2 barns that had been converted, and they had like hot tubs and it was just in a super nice area. So that was the most pricey thing that we paid for, considering we had like a budget wedding. So I think we paid about 2.5 grand for the whole weekend to sleep 18 people. So again, that is like kind of not, if you had 18 people staying somewhere and everyone like paid for their own accommodation, that wouldn't be very expensive, but we just knew that we wanted to pay ourselves for that, which in turn my parents like insisted on paying for a lot of things, so technically they paid for that, so thank you mum and dad. But yeah, we just wanted that kind of experience of being able to like put people up somewhere nice, and just have somewhere. I was thinking, I knew I'd be nervous on the day, and I was thinking how nice it would be if we just had our families and friends over the night before, so everyone can get to know each other, because not Ivan's family haven't really met my family, so we just thought it would be an amazing way for people to relax and get to know each other and just sort of like settle in a bit and not be too stressed. So I definitely recommend having somewhere to stay just for your like closest friends and family. Even if like they chip in, I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to do that, but we just chose not to do that. Oh yeah, so just checking the reservation, we paid £2,417, 17p for 3 nights. But yeah, that included free use of hot tubs as well, which is pretty good. Okay, I'm not sure what they were called. Oh, so our specific ones were called the Cart and Plough Barns Wood End Farm. I'll try and remember to put a link in, but I'll put some pictures in now of this place, and you can see just that it was quite like the rural vibes, and yeah, just a nice relaxing place for people to stay and just, yeah, get to know each other. So that's where we had some of our getting ready photography in the Airbnb, so you can see all of these different shots that I'll be including now. And yeah, I think because the barns were very like rustic and aesthetic, it just added like another thing to be photographed, and it just really helped capture our weekend, because we did spend a lot of time here. And yeah, it's just nice to have those pictures and those memories of it. So yeah, I do recommend that kind of experience. So the third section of photos that were taken were at the Gloucester Cathedral, which I think these pictures make it look like we got married at Gloucester Cathedral, which is pretty cool, because I don't know how much you would have to pay to get married there, but I think it would be an awful lot of money. But you could actually pay to go have your pictures taken in the cloisters and outside. So I don't think it was very much money to do that. Yeah, so you couldn't have pictures taken in like the main part, but me and my family, we just love Gloucester Cathedral, so it was like nice for us to go have a walk around, and like a nice addition to the day to have some like history and have like show people around it and show, you know, somewhere that we've really enjoyed going. Like I've been going there since I was young, so that was cool. But yeah, the pictures that we managed to get in there were just so like classic and just so like churchy, which we did not have like a church wedding, but I think this just gives that element, which is really nice to have those pictures. There's some beautiful pictures in the cloisters with the like stained glass windows, and beautiful ones of, you know, the bridesmaids, and there's some nice ones outside. It's a shame about the scaffolding, but yeah, and I think the ones outside the front of the building are like so beautiful. So yeah, I would really recommend on your wedding day, if you're looking for things to do, maybe like photo opportunities or just something to add a bit more to do in the day, just going somewhere that's like free or like not very expensive, like historical or whatever you're into, just to go like have a walk around together and like share that kind of experience together. I think that was really nice, and it just, I think it just added a bit of culture and some like beauty to the day. So yeah, I'm very pleased that we did that. Okay, so that kind of covers the getting ready, the accommodation, ceremony, and photos. So I think that brings me on to the reception. So our wedding reception had a lot of ups and downs. We found this amazing place called the Lock Keepers in Gloucester, and the way that they have this pub like designed, it's like very, again, it looks quite like rustic and obviously sort of ship themed because it's like Lock Keepers, and it's next to like a body of water. And when we first went there, it did seem a little bit too good to be true, because they were saying, okay, you know, we can seat, like, I think we wanted like 40 people, and they said, yeah, we can like easily do like 30 to 45 people. These are the menus, like the price overall like is whatever per person. And then we were kind of like, okay, how much are they gonna suggest that it costs to hire? And they just didn't say anything about it. And then I think we brought it up and they were like, yeah, so it's like free to hire. And we were like, oh my God. Because in the wedding industry, everywhere charges like $2,000 just to hire the place. And then you have to pay to have everything on top. But it's like this, yeah, this was like such, it was a little bit too good to be true. So a few months, like a couple of months before the wedding, I think we were trying to contact them to go through some things with it. And they hadn't let us know, but they were kind of like, oh, everything is fine. And then they emailed us actually while we were on holiday saying, oh, so actually we've like changed hands, and we put down like a £700 deposit. They were like, oh yeah, so we've changed hands, they actually went under, but we're like owned by New Catering now, so you can't have your deposit back, that's like lost, and yeah, we can keep your reservation, but it's going to be like slightly different, and you're going to have to pay more money to have the menu that you're already going to have. So that was like, I mean, we were 2 months before the wedding, so we didn't really have any choice. We were pretty annoyed because like no one had really kept us in the loop, and they kind of seemed to think it was fine just to like get rid of our £700. Luckily, my mum booked it on her credit card, so she was actually able to claim that money back. So besides all the stress, it was actually fine. We did pay a little bit more because we wanted to include a steak in one of the meal options, because we knew that would be like a popular choice. My family's like vegetarian, but Ivan's is not generally vegetarian, and he's not, he likes a steak. And we just knew loads of people would really want that option. So yeah, in the end, we still saved a lot of money, and it was actually like amazing. One hiccup that we had was from the Airbnb. We'd hired these taxis and they like couldn't find us, and we actually ended up being late to the reception, and that was like really stressful. And all my family were like waiting outside, but they wouldn't let anyone in because they couldn't open before like the bride and groom were there, which was like nice that they did that, but also I just felt really awkward about it because everyone was just like waiting, and I kind of had to just walk past and be like, sorry, I gotta like go in to like open it. But you know, they had the whole like welcome drinks and everything, and like they did it really well in the end. And like I think the woman that worked there, she did like really pull it together, and she did seem really nice. I think just the whole experience was like a little bit frustrating with the loss of money and lack of communication, but also I don't really think that was their fault, and they probably were dealing with a lot of stress at the time. Yeah, it worked out fine in the end, and I think you just can't expect everything to go smoothly. Like something's gonna go wrong, and as it was, like it all worked out fine in the end. So for the reception, I mentioned that we didn't have the photographer for the reception, but what we did decide to have was some disposable cameras, which I bought off Amazon. I bought the Kodak ones, and I think I bought maybe about 10 of them. Although I knew, being someone who uses disposable cameras, I know they don't really come out if you don't hold the flash, and I knew a lot of people wouldn't know that. And I was gonna tell everyone to use the flash, but I didn't want to seem like bossy. And I could see people were already using them as soon as we sat down, which was like amazing. I'm so glad that people were like on board. And I saw a lot of flashes going off, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it, it'll be fine. And yeah, I'd say about 2/3 of them didn't come out because they didn't have the flash used on them. But we had enough pictures, and at the end of the day it was just nice that people were having fun with them, and I didn't want to like be like, everyone, this is serious, you must use these correctly, because even if we got no good pictures out of it and people just had fun, it's kind of like worth it. So as it was, we actually got some really nice pictures. So I'll like insert some of these pictures here. There's a really nice one of me and Ivan that I've actually got on my desk at work, and I think that's probably my favorite picture from the wedding. So, and yeah, I did actually have someone message me on Facebook, sort of like a mutual friend, that was like, how did you get these pictures? Like, did you use like an app or something? Because they look like really vintage. And I was like, no, they're like just film cameras. Like I think a lot of people don't know about them. And yeah, they're like they are expensive, but they give you such a different like quality of picture. And I think it was so nice having the professional digital ones alongside the film camera ones, because I just think they look so cool and like, you know, timeless. So yeah, I was really happy with that. We got so many like blurry dark ones that we couldn't do anything with, but you know, people had fun, and that's the main thing. So yeah, we didn't do that many of the sort of classic wedding traditions. We did do a cake cutting back at the Airbnb. Actually, my friend made us our wedding cake, which was so nice of her. And yeah, she did this like beautiful decoration on the front. And yeah, we've just got some pictures that I'll insert here of us cutting the cake, and that was just taken with the disposable cameras. And we also, as my husband's South African, we went to the South African shop and bought some of these peppermint tarts, because that's like a dessert that they had in South Africa that they like love. So we had that as well. So we had sort of catered for both. And yeah, we had like loads of like alcohol and snacks and stuff at the house. We actually went to Lidl to do like our big shop before the wedding, just to get all the drinks and stuff in, so that was like pretty cheap. I also did these table displays that I think originally I was gonna do them maybe at the reception, and then I realized I kind of just wanted to keep it like quite plain at the reception, because they had their own style there, and I just thought it would be nice how it was. But I ended up using this at the Airbnb, these like table runners and these sort of like autumnal decorations that I like sprinkled on top. And then I also used the dried flowers as like table displays. So I've got one of the bouquets here, which I'm now just using as a sort of window display of my own house. But this is one of the bridesmaid bouquets that I made out of dried flowers that I just got from Dunelm. I got these sort of like orangey ones, and then I got these like fake flowers. These are the only bits that are fake. I think I got them from maybe TK Maxx on sale, they were really cheap. And then I got this pampas grass from Amazon. And then I just got some ribbon from Amazon that I tied around them, and I did have it all like ironed out that I just like wrapped around here. Yeah, so these were my bridesmaid bouquets, and yeah, they just doubled up as like decorations around the Airbnb. I just had them like on tables and things. So yeah, I was really pleased with these, because I wasn't sure if I was going to do bouquets, because flowers are so expensive for weddings, and I just thought just gonna be an extra hassle, like having to pick them up, and I didn't. And then I started looking into like dried flower arrangements, and I was like, actually this could be onto something here, because then you can keep them forever, you don't have to get them like pressed or anything, you've just got them. I think the one issue I had with these is like they smelled a bit weird, which they smell fine now. I actually doused them in perfume and like hairspray just to try and stop them smelling like weird, but I think it faded off after a while. But yeah, this just goes on my windowsill, and this is one of the vases that we had from the wedding that my mum bought. And now, yeah, so this is just a little display that we get to keep forever now. And I think most of the bridesmaids took theirs. I ended up with 2, and my mum ended up with 1 or 2. So yeah, it was nice for my mum to have some as well. And yeah, so here's some pictures of my bridesmaids with their bouquets, and me with my bouquet because mine was a little bit bigger. But yeah, so I would really recommend as a saving money thing to do dried flowers if it's your vibe, you know, because it was so cheap and I could make it just as I wanted it, perfectly matching my colour scheme, and I could just do it like weeks ahead, stick them in a box, done. No stress, no muss, no fuss. So yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, I'm thinking of other decorations that we had. Oh, I made my picture. I can't remember if I showed this in the previous video, I might have done, but this is a picture that I just painted onto a canvas. So I did it to sort of match the colour scheme at the reception place that we had. So yeah, it just says welcome to the wedding reception of Mr. and Mrs. Adams. I have still not actually changed my name to Adams. So I've got my like maiden name currently still because it's a lot of effort, but I'll get there one day. But yeah, so I just did these like sort of orange blossomy things. And yeah, we had this up in our reception on like a little easel next to the like welcome drinks, and it just like matched perfectly, and it was just so nice. And now again, I can keep this forever. But yeah, if you're not someone that's artistic or like into doing art, I think it would be a nice thing to have made, or just, I'm sure there's like lots of options for things you could have. There's a nice little wedding sign, and then yeah, you can keep it afterwards and have it as just a little display on your wall. So yeah, I was pleased with that. Is that everything I DIY'd? Oh, I think I showed in the last video, but I had like lots of little like door name tags and stuff at the Airbnb, which was cute, just so that people knew where their rooms were. And I did make some little goodie bags for the bridesmaids. I think I've got a picture that I will insert here. And I've noticed actually some of my bridesmaids are still using those like tote bags. So I thought that was nice. Instead of just like a bag that you just throw away after, I thought, let me make it like an actually nice bag that's kind of the colour schemes of my wedding, just to remember it by. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, so I think that's most of the DIY stuff that I did. So for my dress, I actually have my dress back here because my mum just washed it and my dad dropped it off earlier this week. But I was so happy with my dress, and like the amount of money that people spend on dresses, I got so lucky because I just went into this shop in the Mall in Bristol called All Good Things, which is like a discounted designer shop, probably a bit like TK Maxx. And I just found this white sequined, I mean, it's like a full-on wedding dress, isn't it? Like, there's no way that's not a wedding dress to me. I don't know. Yeah, fully beaded. It's quite heavy actually. And it had a whole like train on it. Look at this. So yeah, I found this amazing dress and it was £75. It was like half off, so I think it was like 140 originally. And yeah, I think the amount that you would pay for a fully beaded dress that's like officially a wedding dress is like so much. So yeah, I got this for £75 and I paid to have it altered along with a bridesmaid dress for my friend's wedding. And overall, I think I paid like £80 for the alteration for both dresses. And she just hemmed it because I'm so short, I'm 5'1", so it had to be hemmed. And then we kept it pretty long. And she added a button somewhere that basically like hooked the back of the train up. So yeah, she did a really good job. She had to like kind of like cut the edge of it and then like tie all the like beading. So yeah, she did a really good job and she did it really cheaply. So here I'll insert some pictures of the dress, and you can see how well it was hemmed and everything. One thing that I would say that I just slightly regret is someone made a comment basically saying that my boobs looked really flat in it. and I kind of took that on board and ended up sewing this bra into it. I think it might be even been like a push-up bra, to sort of give me a bit more of a cleavage in it. And I actually don't like how that looked, and I wish I'd just gone, I was gonna go like no bra and just, I think I would have just been a lot more comfortable like that, and it would have been, I think that was just more me. Like, I didn't need the whole like cleavage aspect of the dress, and I just wish I just stuck to what I wanted to do and not been like swayed. But it's so difficult when you're getting married because everyone has so much advice and people tell you what you should do and shouldn't do, and it's like hard to know what to listen to. But yeah, that's just something I just should have stuck to my guns a bit more and, you know, done what I wanted to do. So yeah, that's another piece of advice, is I would just say, don't worry about what everyone else says to do with your dress or whatever. Like, listen to what you want to do. It's fine to take like advice if you're stuck, but at the end of the day, what looks good to you, what would you be comfortable in, that's what you need to do, and that's what you won't regret doing. So another thing to do with how I looked on the day was my hair, which I definitely made some mistakes with. It worked out like okay in the end, but okay, so firstly, how my hair is now, I kind of wish I just had it like this for the wedding with some like nice highlights. I'm bad with like changing my hair and like sticking to a plan, so it's like not surprising. I got it into my head that I really wanted like my natural colour for my wedding, which I don't think that's like a bad idea, but the way I had it done is like, because naturally people would have a bit more like highlights and sort of colour difference, depth in their hair, but I went and got it dyed all this like one colour at the hairdressers. Like, I paid a lot to have it done, but I think I got this colour that I'd looked up called biscuit blonde, which is quite similar to my natural colour. Yeah, I got it dyed this colour and it was quite dark, and it was about a week before my wedding, and it just wasn't, it's what I thought I wanted, and they did what I asked for, but it wasn't what I wanted basically in the end. It looked really dark on me, and I suddenly just had a panic because I was like, I think I want to be more blonde for my wedding. So I paid all this money to have it done, and then I ended up doing like a bleach bath on it just to like lighten it slightly, which did work, and I think that was the right move in the end, because in the end, as you can see here, it's like just a sort of naturalish light, dark blonde kind of colour, because I would say it was more light brown when I first got it done, and that's not my natural colour, but that's, yeah. So another stupid thing that I did was I got it cut like way shorter, like a week before my wedding, which was, I don't know why I did this. I was like, I just need a really big healthy chop, and like, I think my hair was like almost down to here, and I got it cut up to like here maybe. And I'd been practicing, so I wanted to literally do like this hairstyle that I've got here, maybe not with like a scrunchie in, but with like a hair bow or something, and just have it just like this, which I wish I'd done. Like, I'm annoyed that I didn't just have it like this, but so I got it darker and I got it shorter, and then I tried to do that hairstyle and it just didn't look right, and it didn't look right with the dress, and I just messed it up basically. So I decided, like literally like the day before my wedding, I was like, right, I'm gonna do like a low bun, which again, it's like, don't do something new. Like, I don't know what like got into me. No, I do, because that's very me, to just cut my hair and get it dyed a different colour and then do something different last minute. Like, that's so me. But I was like panic ordering like hair accessories like a few days up to it, and yeah, so in the end what I ended up doing was I got this hair bow, and then I decided to do like low bun, which it was good. I'm really happy with it. I just have such a regret about how I did it, because basically I didn't practice it enough because it was so last minute, and I'd had it, so like my hair was all up in a bun, but let's just say this was like the low bun here. I'd had it just like this, and it looks good, it looked fine, but I obviously hadn't like worn it enough. Actually, this looks really cute. I'm like so sad I didn't just have my hair like this. Like, how cute would that have been? Like, girl, I fucked it up. But yeah, because I think my hair was like straightened and more shiny and stuff, it was like slipping, and basically it was like, I'll try and like insert a picture where you can see, because it's meant to be like straight down like this, but in all the pictures from like the ceremony and stuff, it's like sideways and like wonky. And halfway through when we were in the cathedral, I realized that I could just take this and like spin it around another time and then like bring it back, and then basically I just needed to like put the scrunchie over like one more time to make it tighter. And like from that point on, it looks flawless, but that was like the end of the pictures. So it's such a stupid little thing that it's like, I know no one else would notice it, but it's like the amount of time that I had to plan this fucking hairstyle, and I messed it up on the day. I'm so annoyed. It's like wonky in every picture. Like the pictures from behind would have been so cute with the bow being perfect, and also just, I wish I had this hair. But again, you just can't plan everything. I just think like, again, my advice would be work out a long time what you want to do. Maybe play with some hairstyles and colours that you're thinking of a lot of time before, just so you can see what it would actually look like. And yeah, once you find something good, stick with it. Don't decide to do something the day before, because yeah, it doesn't work out well. But as it is, the pictures look nice. I don't think you'd know anything was wrong. It's just like me, like I know. So yeah, that's like a silly little thing that I did. This does kind of lead me into something else that I would say is one of my biggest bits of advice, is just do not put pressure on yourself for everything to be perfect, because that is not real life, and that probably isn't what you want. Like you want like a real day, and you don't want to be like so stressed all day, and so like you've got to keep everything perfect, and like that's kind of not fun. So yeah, my biggest bit of advice is just relax a little bit and expect for things to not go quite how you plan them, and just like enjoy it, and just find it funny. Like the wedding, the ceremony music that I had went wrong. I trusted my cousin. I doubt he's listening to this, but if you are, you know what you did, or maybe you don't. But I like so ahead of time gave him like exactly the songs that I wanted in the order. I gave a screenshot of it from my Spotify. I was like, these are the songs. I thought he'd probably have them like downloaded on a playlist. I thought he was stressing. I was messaging like, don't stress too much, like it's gonna be okay, I'm gonna try and like help you. Yeah, it came to the day, he was like, oh, I guess I'll use like my phone, but there's like adverts on it. It's like on the day he just realized that his Spotify had adverts. So I think we gave him someone else's phone, and made sure, I think Ivan on the morning was sorting him out on his own wedding day, which is like, just should have prepared a little bit more. And yeah, when it came to the ceremony, I think my friends said that he didn't know what he was doing. So I think he was just, like when it came to it, he was panicking because he didn't know what to do. And he was like, I don't know which songs to play. So he hadn't remembered. Maybe I should have briefed him again. And the music was like really quiet. So I had these like songs that I'd spent so long thinking about. I wanted some like songs when everyone was like sitting down. Like I had a nice Fleetwood Mac one for when everyone was sitting down. And there was like a Lana Del Rey one, and it was kind of like, you know, building up to the moment, emotional. And then like I didn't hear any music, and then suddenly just our like walking down the aisle song came on, and I was like, guess we're doing that. And then it was really quiet, and yeah, at the end of the day it was just funny. When the ceremony was all done and stuff, I think he was like not sure what to play, and the registrar, she was like, okay, so play the like leaving song, and I was like, he's already played that one. And it was just kind of funny. And I was like, just play whatever, just go for it. And then also because she was like, turn it up a bit to him, so it was like, yeah, it could have gone like perfectly, but I just think it was more relaxed, just being able to just like chat and laugh about it in the moment. And it was such a small thing with just like close friends that it just didn't matter. If you had like a big fancy ceremony that cost a lot, obviously you would have that sorted out. So yeah, again, another thing that didn't go right, but it was fine, it didn't matter, it was funny, it like added to the day. So yeah, you can't expect everything to go perfectly. And at the end of the day, like the most important thing is, you know, your marriage, you guys having a good day and celebrating your relationship. And it's really nice. It was really nice for us to have like our families coming together and meeting each other and like friends, and that was the main thing, and that all went so well. So yes, I think the final thing that I want to talk about, unless I remember anything else, is wedding speeches. So I always said, no way in hell I'm doing a wedding speech. I hate public speaking. I'm never gonna do one. That's one thing, like I don't want to stress about it. I just want to be relaxed on the day. So both me and Ivan were like, we won't do a wedding speech. I think my parents were gonna do one and the best man was gonna do one. A few months leading up to the wedding, maybe even more than that, I just started like planning out. I was like, I'm not gonna say one, but if I was to say one, this is what I would say. And then I just realized like I had a lot to say and I wanted to say stuff. And like I then was like, I mean, I don't think I can't public speak, like I can't do this. But then I was like, I'm just gonna like write a speech, and I don't like, just for fun, you know, I can always just like give it to him or something. But over time, like I planned out this like perfect speech, and then I just got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna regret not saying this because it's everything that I want to say. And I then decided, because I knew that he wouldn't really want to do a speech still. So I actually decided to do it as a surprise for Ivan, and a surprise for basically everyone there except for, I think it was just my mum that knew, maybe my friend knew as well, I'm trying to think. So yeah, it was a complete surprise for everyone. And as it was, actually, my dad ended up not saying anything because there wasn't that much time. So my mum said something, and well, first of all, the best man said something, and then my mum said something, and then she then like passed it over to me. And yeah, I knocked it out the park. It was so good. I rehearsed it so well. I'm dyslexic as well, so I printed out my speech like in sort of a dyslexic font. I used like a different colour for each line so that I could like follow it across, and I just had it rehearsed anyway. But yeah, it just went so well, and it was like so nice to like make my voice heard, because I think I've been to so many weddings where the husband will say something, the dad will say something, the best man will say something, it's all like the guys will say something, and then you just never hear from the woman. And I just thought like, it was mostly my family and friends there, and I was like, I actually want to say something. And a lot of what I wanted to say, I mean, it was thanking like my friends and family, and then I also wanted to like, you know, tell everyone how amazing Ivan is. And also that was something else that we were trying to get filmed and we just forgot to get it filmed. And I kind of regret not getting it filmed, but I also think at the same time, I just have like the memory of it going so well, and I think it's more special like that instead of rewatching it over and over again. So yeah, that was fine. But yeah, so I recommend if you're like a bride and you think like, oh, I won't do a speech because generally like it's not expected of you, like think about it. Think about if you've got something that you want to share. Even if it's just saying, you know, thank you everyone for coming. Just if you want your voice to be heard, do it, because it was so worth it. And I think that was like my favorite thing from the wedding, was my wedding speech. I just said everything I wanted to say, and it just felt so good for saying it. So, and I know people were surprised because I'm quite quiet and I'm not like a public speaker, but it was just so special for me to be able to like say everything that I wanted to say. So yeah, I think that about covers everything. Makeup, I didn't have a makeup artist. I did my own makeup, and I don't usually wear foundation, but I did wear just like a light bit of foundation. I did my normal makeup. I did like a winged liner, which I was like, oh, I don't know if this is bridal enough, but then I was like, it's what I like, I should wear it, which is what I wish I'd done with my hair. Just wear what you want to wear, doesn't matter, do your own style. You don't have to be this like perfect looking bride, I would say. But yeah, and I really enjoyed like my dress, like showed my tattoos off, and that was like something that I loved. I think a lot of people say, oh, what are your tattoos gonna look like on your wedding day? Like, I think mine look great. So don't worry if you've got tattoos, show them off, enjoy them, yeah. So yeah, overall, I don't wanna say we spent, because my parents gave us like a lot of money and covered almost everything. I would say the whole wedding altogether cost at least 5 grand, probably more, which it's a lot of money, but I think nowadays that's a pretty cheap wedding. I think a cheap wedding is now considered like 10 grand, so I think we did pretty well with the pricing. And yeah, the best ways of doing that were having photographer for a short amount of time, micro wedding, and having our wedding at a registry office, and also having our reception at like a place that already caters and that you don't have to hire everything for, and you don't have to pay just to be there. So like a pub or something. Yeah, things I'd do differently, just planning out my hair mainly. That was my main issue. Planning out my hair and not just folding and doing what people told me to do. But overall, I think it went really well, and I've got such good memories of it and nice pictures to look back on. I've got my flowers and my sign and my dress, and yeah, it was great. And I recommend being married. 10 out of 10. It's very nice. Nothing is actually different, but you know, it's just nice to have celebrated with family, and it was nice to bring our families together and actually have them meet. So that was really cool. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say. I think this might have been quite a long video because I just feel like I've been talking forever and I'm really out of breath from talking, but I had a lot to say. But yeah, to all the 2025 brides or 2026 brides getting ready, good luck, and you will have an amazing time. Just don't stress about the little things. Do what you want to do, and just remember, it's just celebrating with your friends and family and your partner. Just have a good time. So yeah, you'll have an amazing time, I promise. It'll be awesome. All right, love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. I just remembered I also wanted to include a picture of my wedding ring, wedding band with my engagement ring. I just got the band itself from H. Samuel. We actually had to get it, oh, it's not fixed. We actually had to get it custom made because my finger's really small and I needed an H, which they don't stock. And I think they were able, so they took my engagement ring away so that they could match like the tones of the gold. And yeah, I just found this one, so they're actually from different shops. The engagement one's from Ernest Jones, and I'm really happy with them. They're lasting really well and they look really pretty. So yeah, at first as well I wasn't quite sure about them, like on the wedding day I was like, oh, there's like a lot going on here, but yeah, I've just got that like wishbone style, but yeah, they look really pretty and really sparkly and I love them.